Hello, fellow Movie Crusaders, and welcome to another episode of Sean's Movie Crusades. My name's Sean Wasbrook, and today we are reviewing probably one of the most anticipated films in terms of the Oscar season, and that is 1917. Now, for me, when this first trailer came out a couple months back, I was just fully enthralled in what it was. I watched it like at least 5 times. The way it is shot, the way the music played through that trailer, I was in love with the idea of what this movie was. A World War I movie, for one. We don't really get a whole lot of World War I movies like at all anymore. So that's a cool new feature because it's always World War II or Vietnam. It's never really World War I. So that was a real cool feature. And then also the idea that the whole film is shot in one continuous shot. Now, obviously, they didn't shoot it all in one take because, first off, if they did, that'd be freaking amazing. But the way they shot the film, the way they did movie magic to make it feel like you are on this journey with these two characters, that's one quick way to get me immediately into it. Like, I was a huge fan of Birdman for that one instance. House of Haunting Hill did almost an entire episode like that. Or Haunting of Hill House. I love that idea. I love that the way that shot, like The Revenant, the first like 10 minutes of The Revenant, that battle, all one shot. I think that's a beautiful way to shoot a film, and it's also a very hard way to shoot it. And I commend the people who do the camera, the choreography, everything in that is incredibly hard. And that is why this movie immediately grasped me. Also, because we have two lead actors who are not really known, not really big in anything, which, yes, if you go to their IMDb, yes, they pop up and you're like, oh, that's, this person from this or that, but no real big names. Like, there are big name people in the movie, but they're not the central characters. Like, they come in and they have like 1 5-minute scene here. But just the way this was shot, and then of course with the Golden Globes this past Sunday, it won Best Director from Sam Mendes, and then of course it won Best Picture. So we finally got it released wide, and I could not wait to see it. So let's go ahead and jump into the review and see exactly what I thought of 1917. Now, the general plot is we are following two Lance Corporals who are on a very dangerous mission. Basically, they have less than, I would say, probably 12 to 16 hours, depending on what time. They never really say what time of the day it is, but they have less than half a day for the most part to get from one area to the next in order to stop a battle from happening, because they find out that the troops are thinking that the Germans have fallen back, so they want to attack the Germans and hurt them. But the Germans are literally doing this to draw them out into a huge attack. And basically, these two need to try and go over this at least miles of distance in a span of that short amount of time to basically warn them and stop them from attacking or run the risk of losing over 1,600 men in this battle. One of them being the brother of one of the main characters. And that's basically, and then the story obviously follows these two's journey from where they start the film to inevitably to try to get to that area while trying to stay alive. And that is the plot of 1917. What works with this film? Everything. This film is flippin' amazing. Sam Mendes, the idea for him to come up with this idea to shoot this as a continual one shot is brilliant. He wrote the script as well with is it Christy Wilson Carnes? They both put on a phenomenal writing performance. Mendes, I mean, I loved him in as Skyfall. That's probably one of my favorite James Bond movies ever. The way he directs this, the way he chose the shots that he wanted to shoot, which of course a big one of these goes to the cinematographer Roger Deakins. Both of them, like the whole crew. This is definitely one of those films that deserves an Oscar just from the work they put into it alone by trying to get this continual one shot to work. And trust me, I paid attention super, super close the whole way I was watching it. And outside of one scene, which makes sense, this thing does not break from the continual shot from the first scene all the way to the last scene, outside of this one moment. It is a continual, or it looks anyway, like a continual shot from beginning to end. You are following these two characters, behind them, in front of them, side by side with them. You are in this journey with these two characters. When they're in danger, you feel in danger. When it's a quiet, beautiful moment between these two characters talking about life, you're in that moment. When there's a heartbreaking scene that happens, you are in that moment. This movie 100% takes you and puts you right in this film. Whereas with other films, yes, they are powerful films and stuff like that, but they have cut takes and they jump back and forth and they kind of take you out of the film. Not necessarily, but they take you out of that moment because either A, they go to a different scene, or they do the whole camera shows this person's face and then it cuts to this person's face. This movie does not do that. This movie shows you exactly what you're supposed to see. If there's battling going on in the distance, if they look over there, the camera might choose to show it to you. If not, you are staying with these two characters throughout the film. They will come and go through certain groups and you'll see certain characters. But like I said, the camera stays on these two throughout the entire film. Never once does the camera sway away from these two characters. It also, and take this as either a plus or a minus. I actually like the idea of it, but I know some people might have a negative about it. It's kind of almost like a video game in a sense, where you are following the action, like over a third-person camera, of these two characters going through this journey. And when they each kind of get to their like respective little places where they see a group of people, it's almost like a cutscene, like a breather, kind of like a save point in the game where they meet someone, they talk to them for 5 minutes, and then they go back on to their journey, and you're following the whole way through. It's masterfully crafted. The way they shot this, the way the lighting is, the scenes in this, the way some of these scenes are shot. There's a scene, like No Man's Land. No Man's Land looks incredible. There's a scene in a town at night when it's on fire. The lighting of it, the way it's shot is gorgeous. And then there's also a river scene that is intense and basically makes you feel like you're in that water as well. There's so much intensity in this film because of the way it is paced. Almost like a horror film in a sense. You never know when something is going to jump out and whatever crazy thing might happen, because just like war, anything can happen at any given moment. And these two soldiers, they're not like Rambos or anything. They're just average guys who get put on this mission. The only reason they get put on the mission is because one of their brothers is in this battalion that's going to go into this trap, and so they pick him because that's extra motivation to get him to go, and he takes his buddy with him, and that's who they are. They're not these flashy, like Rambo type soldiers. They're just average Joes, no different than you and me, just going out there and trying to do this, and their motivation is to get there to save his brother. And that's all it is. And these two, like I said, in terms of casting these two relatively unknown actors. Like I said relative because if you watch TV, you've seen them before. Like Dean Charles Chapman, he plays Lance Corporal Blake. Anyone who watches Game of Thrones, he's King Tummins Baratheon. He definitely didn't look like him. Like when I had to look up his IMDb, and I was like, oh my God, that's Tummins. I couldn't believe it because like I said, he doesn't look like Tummins from Game of Thrones anymore. And then, of course, you have George McKay. He plays Lance Corporal Schofield. He's in a lot of TV show stuff, like and like small movies here and there, but nothing that really stands out that makes you go, "Oh, it's that guy." Now, yes, there are about, I would say, 5 cameos from actors that people know that do pop up in this film. I'm not going to say who. Now, yes, you've seen 2 or 3 of them from the trailers, but they're just nice little surprises. They don't take away from the film. They don't take over the film either. They're in, they're out, but it's nice to see them because it's a familiar face to you. And that's nice because yes, while we are following these two characters, seeing a familiar face definitely helps with the film as well. But Dean Charles Chapman and George McKay, they put on stellar performances. You are following them from beginning to end. You're kind of getting to know them as we're getting to know them. They don't do a whole lot of exposition, so it's not like they're telling their whole life story so that we can feel for these characters throughout the film. these characters just kind of having just normal conversations, and you're just kind of building up that relationship with them as the thing goes on. And when they're in danger, you feel in danger. And when certain things happen, it definitely leaves you on the edge of your seat, holding your breath. And if you like that kind of thing, you're going to love this movie. If that's not your kind of thing, you might have a little bit of problems watching this film overall. But this film is incredible. The way it was shot, the way it was directed, the way it's performed, everything about it is flippin' amazing. And it is easily one of, if not the best film of the year, which is why it easily won at the Golden Globes. And it could very well be an Oscar contender for Best Picture here next month. Now, what does not work, very, very little things don't work. But if I have to get nitpicky with it, there is a character decision that they make about halfway through, I would say less than halfway through. There's a character decision that they make in the film that I wasn't fully behind. And that's all I can really say without going further into it. Because if I go any further, then it's going to spoil something. All I'll say is that about between the 30 minute an hour mark, I would probably say it's around 40-45 minutes. They make a character decision that I wasn't a fan of. Now, like I said, that doesn't deter from the film at all. The film is phenomenal throughout. It was just one of those things where it's like, I kind of wish they didn't do that. And that was it. Like I said, that's a decision that they made. That is not something that's going to make me go, I hate this film. But it's just something I kind of wish they hadn't done. While the pacing is fantastic, I think for some people, there are some slow moments, which I think those slow moments help build character and drive the film towards those super intense scenes. But for people who are just wanting bang, 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 bang all the way through, you might find some moments to be rather slow. But I think the slow moments actually work beautifully with the film. But I can see how that could potentially be an issue for some. And like I said, the whole video game aspect of it, like I said, that could be a negative for some people. It was not for me. But that's literally the only things I really think that if you were to come at this film with something to be negative about, those are the only things I can personally think of. I will say there is one character, not one of the main characters, but like an extra who gets bumped into and then basically just plays dead after that point. It's like, dude, get up. You just got bumped into. You didn't get blown up. You didn't get shot at. Like, you literally just got bumped into. And it kind of was weird because, like, I couldn't take my eyes off this character because he basically just laid there like he got knocked the F out, which he shouldn't have. But like I said, it's just one little extra, and you can't knock the movie for that. But it was kind of funny. There's like this whole movie is done brilliantly, and there's this one extra who basically plays dead when he shouldn't be playing dead. But yeah, like I said, going into overall thoughts, 1917 is a masterclass in filmmaking done by Sam Mendes, cinematography by Roger Deakins. It's got a great script by Sam Mendes and Christy Wilson Cairns. This movie deserves all the awards that it's potentially going to get. It deserves to be on everyone's must-see list for the remainder of the year, and it is easily one of the best pictures of 2019. I could not recommend this film enough. If you're not a war fan, like a war film fan, okay, I get that. But the way this film is shot, you can't not see this and not appreciate the art that is done in this film as they are shooting this movie. And because of that, I could not recommend this movie more. Go out of your way to see 1917. It is a must watch for anyone who wants to see the art and the beauty of filmmaking, as well as a very good film with a cast that is led by two actors that a lot of people don't know, but they definitely will know after this film. So going into my review score, I give 1917 a 9.8 out of 10. Like I said, I personally think it's a near perfect film. Like I said, I have a little bit of nitpicks here and there, but they're very, very small nitpicks, which is why it gets a 9.8. But it is easily one of my best films of the year, and that's why it gets that score. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you guys did, you go ahead and hit that like button. If you like this review is worth sharing, go ahead and hit that share button. But most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button onto the channel so you guys may stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on Sean's Movie Crusades. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next week, we've got one of my most anticipated films of 2019, mainly because I'm a fan of the franchise, and that is Bad Boys for Life. We've been waiting for this movie for at least 15 years. So we get to see Will Smith and Martin Lawrence back. There's a few other films that have come out this week and coming out next week. I'll do my best to try to see them when I can, and when I do, you will see a review for it here on the channel. We also got best of for the past decade with me and the rest of the fellow movie crusaders. We'll eventually get on here and we'll do our top 5 movies for each year and discuss that, leading all the way up to our best of 2019, which this film will 100% be on that video. So be on the lookout for that. And until next time, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, movie crusaders.